If you missed part 1, we entered Lesotho at the Maputo border, headed into the Maluti Mountains, and found ourselves surrounded by amazing sights and sounds of the Tsehlanyane National Park. Malibo was a good place to cool down, recruit some stem cell donors, take a hike, and then get back on the road.
From Malibo Mountain Lodge, we followed the Hlotse River back to the A1.
Our plan was to find any opportunity on the Roof of Africa route at points of interest to spread awareness for stem cell donation and to find some potential matches on the map.
Our next stop would be Lipufeng Caves.
Right, so we've made a quick stop over at the Lipufeng Caves. We've got some team members signing up as lifesavers.
Some people are excluded from signing up due to various medical exclusions.
Our next stop will be Afriski. To get there, Betsy would need to conquer the twists, turns and steep inclines of the Moteng Pass. This blacktop road reaches a height of 2,820 meters and is one of 2 passes that links the town of Butabute with the diamond mining town of Mokotlong. We had a breakdown going up the pass. Betsy has unfortunately overheated. It is a very steep pass. I'm not going to be too hard on Betsy. Yeah, that temperature gauge is not coming down for a while. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about 5:30 in the afternoon, so we'll probably end up having to sleep right here. It's not a bad spot. It's quite a good view for a breakdown. Start up early tomorrow morning when it's still cool. Pass is still, that bend over there, it still goes up all the way, twists and turns over the mountains. We'll wait till she's fully cooled down and then try again tomorrow morning. In Lesotho, young boys traditionally become herders and undergo a rite of passage called Lebolo Labana. So we just saw the most interesting thing. We had the breakdown up the pass here, and all of a sudden we didn't expect that. The initiation process transitions them from boyhood to manhood. It includes cultural education and traditional male circumcision. Pretty sure that they are going to have the initiation on top of that mountain there. It looked pretty intense.
We topped Betsy up with some water and settled in for the night.
5 o'clock in the morning now. We're gonna attempt to get up this pass. Betsy's cooled down and I'm sure she's ready for another day. Alright, so we didn't make it up far at all, probably about a couple of 100 meters, and Betsy's temperature gauge just shot up again. I think that the issue might be the water pump, or there's an airlock in the water system going to the oil heat exchanger, but I'm going to see if I can troubleshoot now and get to the bottom of it, because the pass is still quite steep from here. Alright, so we're gonna give it attempt number 2. Our suspicion of it being an airlock in our cooling system was correct. The pass coils like a corkscrew before you reach Oxbow from Butabute. It is said to have 91 bends with a gradient of 1 to 5 in places. So the Moteng Pass is a serious pass. This is definitely the highest that we've taken Betsy up a road. We often spotted silhouettes of nomadic shepherds on the mountaintops. These guys define toughness and even live in these remote conditions through snow and blizzards, at times spending months or even years away from their families. the top of the Moteng Pass. It's very high up. Doing stem cell donor recruitment requires us to locate groups or individuals that are young, healthy, literate, and have reliable contact information. We found that lodges are a good spot not only as they employ such individuals, but they also make use of cooking oil, which we use as fuel, saving us some diesel costs. They also allow us to make a portion of our income through listing them on Listable.
There were no eligible donors and we had to keep moving.
We thought it was a good idea to make a stop at Afriski, one of only 12 ski resorts in Africa. After asking around, we managed to track down the manager, who agreed to give us a gap during the staff's lunch break to present a quick educational talk and sign up some volunteers. Alright, so we've sat down at the highest restaurant in Africa, which is pretty cool. At the moment we're waiting for a hot chocolate. It started off with little interest, but soon, after getting some help from a translator, the team got enthusiastic and intrigued in possibly becoming someone's second chance. So that was very successful, and we're gonna hit the road now and see if we can find a good spot to sleep.
Across the kingdom, a variety of traditional Basotho blankets are worn to represent the different rites of passage in society.
The Maholo Bela is a fertility blanket worn by young Sotho men in preparation for their transition to manhood. After the initiation ceremony, the young men will don a different blanket known as the Lekokolo. Husbands traditionally gift their wife a Sorope blanket when their first child is born.
There are many other types of blankets, all with different representations.
The most convenient and commonly used off-road transport are horses and donkeys. We struggled to find any used cooking oil, and Betsy's diesel tank was just about empty.
We had to fuel up before heading to Sani.
We stopped over for some diesel. They only take cash, unfortunately, and we don't have a lot of it, so we hope that the 200 Rand or whatever we throw into the tank will take us to the next town. Not gonna lie, I have seen pumps in better condition, but if we can run on dirty cooking oil, we can definitely run on this diesel. At 3 kilometers per litre, the diesel would only give us around 25 kilometers. It was another 30 something kilometers to the next fuel stop in Mokotlong.
Why you park the car there? You can't park the car there.
Another impressive fact about the country, it targets a high rate of universal primary education and has one of the highest rates of literacy in Africa. We arrived in Mokotlong with Betsy sipping on fumes. Tired but excited, we could take the final turn towards the big descent, the Sani Pass.
We arrived at the Sani Pass quite late last night. I went to the first campsite, but they were too expensive for us, and we drove about 3 kilometers back and found another campsite, which was very affordable, $200 for the night, so that's fine. Before we go down the Sani Pass, I've got to do some maintenance on Betsy. The cab has dropped a little bit, so that means that when pushing in the clutch, it catches against the floorboard, and the brake actually catches against this rubber piece on the steering column, meaning that I can't compress the brake all the way, which is obviously not ideal for the Sani Pass. This is the spot that we slept last night. Really not bad at all. Sani Pass is about 2 kilometers that way.
I just met 2 more amazing people on their journey. I've got this cruiser standing at the back here. The landscapes are wonderful, but the people that you meet are even better. How's it, guys? While I was doing maintenance, we also realized up the steep passes that the truck was losing power on cooking oil. So I used the opportunity to change the filter around. The other filter was clogged up. One of these filters on the oil side lasts for about 2,000 kilometers. Luckily, Turbo Performance in Nelspruit supplied me with an extra filter. Masoba-soba turned out to be a humbling stop, and we got even closer to Lesotho when we realized they stocked food and supplies for the nomadic herd boys of the surrounding mountains. This is a development. I don't think cats eat baked beans. A worthy place to list unlistable so that you can check it out too.
So we're at Masoba-soba. It's our last stop in Lesotho on the way to the Sani Pass. We've got Didi signing up as a lifesaver. Possibly our last person to sign up in Lesotho.
Alright, we're gonna head off to Sani Pass now. I'm excited. She's nervous.
I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah. But I think we'll stop over at the highest pub in Africa to calm our nerves first. We wish we could have spent more time in the kingdom in the sky, but there were no options available for us to make an income with our products. This meant getting back to the market community in South Africa. And this is where the pass starts. This looks like good news. In 1966, a Mercedes-Benz LA-1113 carrying 8,300 pounds made it up in an hour. Before stamping our passports, 2 tourists who had just descended the pass were convinced that we shouldn't attempt going down in that truck. Alright, here we go. The Sani Pass has become iconic in Southern Africa's travel landscape. Originally a mule track, it was pioneered for motor vehicles by David Alexander and his company, Moteng Mountain Transport, in the late 1950s. The legendary 8 kilometers between the 2 border posts is still a challenging and hair-raising road that gives you a taste of what the pioneers and locals of the time faced. At its highest end, it has an altitude of 2,876 meters and descends a staggering 1,332 vertical meters within a short distance. For many years, it held the outright record for the highest pass in South Africa and is still one of the highest today. The first 11 switchbacks and hairpins are incredibly thrilling, and to be safe, we recommend using a 4x4 vehicle. At times it can be a bumpy ride, which the locals refer to as an African massage. We've got a breakdown on the Sani Pass, but I think it's just an airlock. Betsy always seems to take a rest at the most interesting times and places. We caught the pass at just the right time, with blue skies, lush green views of the Drakensberg mountains, and loads of waterfalls in the valley. If attempting the pass in a bigger vehicle, expect some careful maneuvering at some of the tight turns.
There are also some dedicated pullover points to enjoy a cup of coffee and let others pass.
Hey, how's it, man? Sure. There is a likelihood of the pass being tarred. It would remain iconic, but if you wanted to experience it in its purest form, it might be a good idea to move it up on the bucket list. It would be best to consider taking on this dragon in seasons free from snow and ice. Sani is the only road between South Africa and Lesotho over the highest escarpment of the KZN Drakensberg Mountains, the highest mountain range in southern Africa.
So the Sani Pass wasn't all that bad, huh?
This border post is very easy and quiet down the Sani Pass. We loved our time in Lesotho, but entered back into SA to spend the rest of the year in our home country searching for and signing potential bone marrow matches before attempting the remaining 61 countries. We thank those who have supported our efforts along the way. To become a Patreon member or read more about the project, please visit numerous expeditions.co.za.